Good evening, everyone. On behalf of IDBI Capital, I welcome you to the Q2 FY22 earnings call of Indian Railways Catering and Tourism Corporation, or IRCTC. On behalf of IDBI Capital, I thank the management for giving us the opportunity to host the call. We have with us the management represented by Ms. Rajni Hasija, CMD, and Mr. Ajit Kumar, Director Finance and CFO. I would now like to hand over the call to the management for opening remarks, and later we can open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, Rajni ma'am.
A very good evening to everyone. I welcome you all to this Concall of IRCTC Limited for the quarter that has ended on 30th September 2021. I hope that you and your dear ones are safe, and I also wish a very happy Diwali and a healthy and a prosperous year for everyone. Now, if we start discussing about the results of the quarter 2 of the financial year 2022, the quarter has really seen moderation in infections and continued momentum in the vaccination, which has been positive in the travel and hospitality industry, which has started reviving now. Further, this places industry in a very good position going into the festive season, though the risk of the third wave is still not completely behind. Earlier today, IRCTC has announced its financial results for the quarter and a half yearly ended on September 2021. And the same has been disclosed on both the exchanges too. I shall first give a brief overview of this quarter results, post which we shall be taking up the questions and answering them well on behalf of management. In this quarter, that is quarter 2 for the financial year 22, IRCTC yet again demonstrated its resilient business model and has been able to significantly improve its operational performances. While normalization in the catering and the packaged drinking water and the tourism is still going to take some more time, internet ticketing has not been able to surpass its performance in the pre-COVID period, but in fact, in this quarter, that is quarter 2 of the financial year 22, has been the best ever quarter for this segment. So I congratulate all participants in this. On a consolidated basis, quarter 2 financial year 22 revenue came at around 404.9 crores, seeing a strong growth from quarter 1, where the revenue was only 243.4 crores. So there is a significant improvement quarter to quarter, given that the quarter 2 of the financial year 21 had the impact of pandemic. EBITDA on absolute basis was at rupees 211.5 crores in the quarter 2 of fiscal 22, which is much higher than 111.5 crores in the previous quarter, and against a loss of a 5.6 crores in the quarter 2 of the previous year, if we exclude the other incomes. Similarly, EPS of 9.9 grew from rupees 5.2, that is earning per share, on quarter to quarter, and against a minor loss in year over year. Importantly, both EBITDA and earning per share in this quarter, that is in the quarter 2 of the financial year 22, has been higher than that in the quarter 4 of the financial year, fiscal year 20 level as well. With the resilient performance in this quarter, gradual opening up of the economy and the festive season, vaccination happening, I believe that IRCTC is placed very well to continue to demonstrate improvement in its other operational areas, and the performance is going to be better. I shall now hand over the call to my colleague and our CFO, Shri Ajit Kumar, to brief you on the financial and segmental performance of the company. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody, and festive greetings to you and your dear ones. I shall first give a brief overview about Q1 FY22 results, post which we shall have the question and answer session. Q2 FY22 revenue saw a sharp improvement both on quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year basis. The revenue of rupees 404 crores grew by 66.4% quarter-on-quarter and by 3.6 times year-on-year, given that Q2 FY21 had the impact of the pandemic. Given that internet ticketing continued to drive the growth, as you know, it has the highest margin amongst the business segments. The EBITDA margin continued to make a new high and crossed the 50% mark and was at 52.2% versus 45.8% quarter-on-quarter, and compared to a minor loss in Q2 FY21 if we exclude the other income. Let us now move to the business segments of the company. The first one, the internet ticketing. This segment continued to be the most resilient business segment. Q2 FY22 revenue internet ticketing was at an all-time high at rupees 265.3 crore, growing by 77% quarter-on-quarter and significantly higher than rupees 58.3 crore in Q2 FY21. The growth was driven by both the growth in ticketing volume and in non-service charge revenue. EBITDA margin moved back from 80% and was at 83.1% versus 77.9% quarter-on-quarter and 58% year-on-year basis. The catering segment has maintained a declining trend in EBITDA loss. For Q2 FY22, the segment reported a very minor loss of just rupees 15 lakh versus rupees 4.7 crore in Q1 FY22 and loss of rupees 33 crore in Q2 FY21. Rail Neer has also maintained the momentum in improvement revenue and EBITDA. The Q2 FY22 revenue for the segment grew by 41% quarter-on-quarter to rupees 41.2 crore and against rupees 9.2 crore in Q2 FY21. EBIT margin improved to 6.8% for Q2 FY22 versus 6.2% quarter-on-quarter and a loss in Q2 FY21. The tourism segment, which has been the most hit by the pandemic for us as well as the entire industry, this has continued to see muted revenue and this loss is at EBIT level. The cash and bank balances and net worth of the company as of the end of Q2 FY22 is rupees 1945 crore and rupees 1630 crore respectively. That brings me to the end of this opening remarks. Now we can move to the question and answer session.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Jinesh Joshi from Prabhudas Lilladher Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. Madam, I just have one hypothetical question. I mean, if we assume that the decision to share the convenience fee had not been withdrawn, what recourse would we have taken? I mean, I want to understand, do we have the autonomy to take a price hike or charge on a per passenger basis? So just wanted your thoughts on that.
Shall I answer now or you have something more to answer?
I have a follow-up, but I'll ask that after you answer this question.
Let me handle the first one. It is good in the interest of IRCTC that the decision of the sharing of the revenue of convenience fee has been withdrawn. But had that not been withdrawn, what we would have done? As we have been mentioning in various concalls, that IRCTC has been given a liberty to decide its convenience fee, the amount that can be charged. That amount in various conferences, investors have been suggesting that why not charge per passenger. At that time, management has been answering, let's not be that greedy. Secondly, we have also been given some dispensation to the UPR. where almost 30% transactions we are getting less of the convenience fee. So had the decision not been withdrawn, certainly we would have worked on those lines. And for that we needed to have a full board and many decisions to be taken, which would have taken some time at least. So that forum was open for us, for which we had already started working. The management had already started working on those lines. So that alternative was available with us. But at the same time, you never know how this is going to take a view. Because ultimately this was to be decided by a BOD, Board of Directors. So where various sorts of schools are there. So this was the option available for IRCTC. We were left with that option, either to increase the license fee. Actually, withdrawing the benefits to UPI we can't dream of, because it is our own indigenous product and we work in Atmanirbhar Bharat. Or we would have intensified other resources, which we are already doing. That you know that our dependency on the convenience fee resources is gradually improving, and our revenue from the non-convenience fee is also increasing. So our focus is already there on that. So such decisions don't impact destiny of the company. I think I've been able to answer, sir, your question.
Yes, madam. Just one last bit from my side. There have been some media reports which state that this mandatory reservation facility in the general compartments, which was implemented during COVID, may not sustain completely, and some rollback may happen. For instance, in 23 special trains, this reservation norm is not applicable. So do you expect a full rollback sometime around in the near future?
I cannot comment upon that, but that this is inventory of Ministry of Railways. But if they have converted the general inventory into the second S, they are also gaining out of that. So I cannot comment upon the decision to be taken by Ministry of Railways. In the COVID time, they have done that. But after COVID, when everything normalizes, whether they are going to retain this or not, we don't know. We cannot comment at this juncture. However, I can tell you that around 40% of our reservation is coming. The excess reservation is coming. Normally, we used to book around 8.5 lakh tickets in a day. As of now, our average ticket is around 12.5 lakhs. That is an add-on inventory that we have got because of this booking. So that add-on may not be there in case the ministry would like to withdraw that. But the initial for which we have projected, which was projected in our DFRP document also, that 8.5 lakh tickets are going to be booked. There is some increment after we had released that, and from 71% of railway booking, now we have reached around 81% of booking. That improvement is still there, and people are diverting from offline to online, and the more and more digital transactions are happening in the country is also a hard fact which we should not forget before making any decision in this.
Sure, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin Gosar from Invesco Mutual Fund. Please go ahead. Nitin, your line is in the talk mode. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. The question is also again on the similar lines on which the earlier participant asked. Can you help us understand what was Indian Railway or Government of India thinking while they were evaluating this proposal of 50% sharing of convenience fee?
Nitinji, I may not be the right person to answer this question.
I take your point, ma'am. Is this deferment of proposal to ask for 50% of convenience fee deferred on permanent basis, or how should we see this as an act?
Letter received by us looks can be read like that, stands withdrawn.
Okay, got it. And on this second class, which has now become a part of the reserved category inventory, how should we see this going forward? This will stay, or the normalization will come into picture and we'll start losing on that 4 lakh inventory that has got created additional?
So it is very difficult for me to handle this because this inventory belongs to Ministry of Railways, where the general category has been converted into the reserved category. Since the people are opting for it, it means people have not denied it. And there is a comfort zone also involved in that. Earlier they were going with the lot of uncertainty. By converting this, the certainty amongst the people has also been created. There are going to be few takers who will like to continue in that. There may be a few takers who would like to have a general inventory. So perhaps at this juncture, this question cannot be answered by IRCTC. This is the excess rain that we could capture. And we could provide the environment and could make some good losses come up by facilitating those customers and providing them the inventory, maintaining the balance, reserve, etc., so that this booking doesn't go waste and we are able to tap in the form of a convenience fee through this.
Fair point, ma'am. Just a clarification. So today we have an inventory available of 12.5 lakh per day.
We have been able to book 12.5 tickets per day.
Okay.
The normal
and for
inventory in the reserve segment is 8.5 lakh tickets in a day. And average size in one ticket is around 1.7 these days. Earlier it used to be 1.9, but after COVID, it is 1.7.
Got it. And for the quarter, what would have been the inventory, ticket booking or PNR booking for the quarter?
Yeah, I'll give you the figure. In the quarter 2, the total ticket booked was around 11 crores. 11 crores, 22 lakhs, nearly around 3 point, average will be around 3.7, you can take it as 3.7 crores. And passenger traveled in the ratio of 1.7.
Got it. And one last bit on UPI, you mentioned that we are right now not asking for any kind of additional charge.
No, I did not say this. I said
sorry, my reading was bad
for UPI, instead of 15 rupees, we charge rupees 10 in sleeper class. And in AC segment, instead of 30 rupees, we charge 20 rupees in the case of AC class. So that is to promote Atmanirbhar Bharat and promote digital payments in India. Because we are a big gainer of the digitization.
Perfect, ma'am. I think that's it from my side. Thank you. I'm done from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Operator is disconnected. Can we have from the next question, please? Can we have next question, please? I think disconnect हो गया. अर्पित को phone.
Thank you.
She is back.
The next question is from the line of Rahul Jain from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. I have a question that we have seen this massive swing in our stock prices, which I would blame to the investor community. But part of the issue on account of the input coming from Railway, Government of India on various elements such as convenience fee sharing and maybe merger with Chris and Railtail, those kind of events. While I can understand your limitation, but what I essentially want to convey or request is that there has to be a faster and frequent communication or clarifications to avoid scope for such speculation, because essentially the business has a lot of dependency on railway, and what can kind of give us comfort that if such event happen, how we would be able to safeguard interest of the minority shareholders.
So the confidence which I can give, IRCTC can provide through its operating performances. But since most of our business are railway dependent, so railway as a policy maker decide something and IRCTC as a follower, as an extended arm of railways, implement that. Normally, we discuss with each other, and rather this discussion is happening very frequently on daily basis, on all the subjects. So these are not that issues are not discussed amongst each other, but there have been few gaps in the past. But I cannot really say ऐसा नहीं होता that people don't discuss and such kind of decisions are taken. Your discussion point has been noted, and we will also try to communicate to our ministry that investor is worried about that, and investor would like to have more confidence. If this kind of a dialogue happens again and again, we'll certainly communicate to Ministry of Railways, which we have done also.
Right. And what happens to some of the segment where, we are getting immensely benefited because of part of the railway ecosystem, but there is no revenue arrangement. I can understand in the ticketing, they have showed their interest, but of course it has been withdrawn. And in catering business, we are already doing it. In tourism, we pay whatever haulage charge and everything which is required. But in rail near business, again, there is no sharing as such. So what happens in case something of that sort is considered in that kind of a business at a later point of the time? And also, as you rightly said, what could you might have done in such an event in terms of pricing increase or UPI discount abolishing. But does that also somewhere imply that if we do a pricing hike in future, it may happen that it may come along with sharing with the railway, so eventually the benefit to the minority would not be any different?
One is securing the interest of minority. Second is handling the expenses of IRCTC. The representation which IRCTC made to Ministry of Railways was on the basis of, one is of course was the investors' interest, and secondly the expenditure that IRCTC would like to do in upgradation of the site, because there are many things which we require to maintain this website, and the infrastructure requirement is huge. So if Railway has given us this work, so Railway has also saved. If 80% inventory is being booked through IRCTC for booking one ticket, Railway might be spending, this was a very old calculation I have, more than 60 rupees Railway was spending for booking one ticket. If the same work has been given to IRCTC, so you can calculate the amount of a saving which Railway has done. It is the digitization that has really helped, and the infrastructure placed by IRCTC and the experience of IRCTC in the last 20 years that has helped in maintaining this infrastructure in a very conservative manner. So, if suppose we increase the price and there can be a sharing with the railways, so I don't think so this can be discussed at this juncture. There has to be a lot of deliberations on this subsequently with the ministry, and we would like that to discuss in any case we would be requiring funds for maintaining our infrastructure, and we would also be requiring a lot of float to handle such huge booking. And some other arrangement for upgrading the site and making the DR site, etc., handling all the risks involved in the business. There are risks, because as we know that there are no transaction charges in the case of a debit card, in the case of a payment which are less than 2,000 rupees. So all where we were earlier earning in the non-convenience fee resources, they are not there. So these things are happening, the industry is changing. Till the industry is changing, the flow of revenue that is coming to IRCTC is helping in the handholding in the other segments. There was a time when this money was taken away in 2016-17 at the time of a demonetization. At that time, catering helped. And when during COVID, catering and railway was not there, so internet ticketing helped. That is what the resilient business model IRCTC has. Our growth is not only vertical, it is actually horizontal. The more domain we add so that we can cover up the losses of the other segment, and together as we come up as a great strength.
Right. And in the catering and the tourism business, if you could share your thoughts in terms of when we expect the revenue getting aligned in the catering segment with the passenger traffic. We have seen this license fee run rate is, quite low compared to the normalized run rate. And also similarly on the tourism business, our losses have widened in this segment in this quarter, which is a bit surprising, because we are seeing the general tourism and hospitality across PS have seen a massive improvement. So when we could see this in our numbers as well?
In the tourism, our losses have widened as compared to the previous quarter. There is a reason because the earning of the Tejas is being added into it. And there is some revision in the Tejas policy for which we have requested Railway Board to reconsider. The haulage pattern of the Tejas has been changed. And for which we have already requested Railway Board to reconsider so that these losses can be curtailed. And we can at least break even. In spite of the festive bookings, we are not able to make good of the losses done previously. Secondly, we have also raised certain issues of passing the benefit of the force majeure during the period when the train was not running. These are the few issues which we have discussed with Ministry of Railways. Because of those losses being added in the tourism, otherwise, other than Tejas you talk about, the tourism is in profit. So we are taking a concrete decision on the Tejas, and let us see, we are hopeful that we'll get some rescue out of that. If we are not, then we'll take a tough decision in this subject. Rather, we'll be constrained to take a tough decision.
And this would be like reducing the frequency, increasing the price?
We'll try many such things are there. We'll either increase price or we'll decrease the frequency or curtail our own expenses, do the re-tendering so that we are able, or increase the non-fare revenue, which we have already done. Money for that is yet to be taken. So we will try hard so that this segment also makes up the profit. Otherwise, hardcore tourism, it's in profit.
And catering, why it is catering?
My answer to my second question is, your first question will be, that catering, we have already raised the matter to Ministry of Railways and they are taking some time for examination. Perhaps they are waiting for this festival period. Because festival period, you might have seen the crowding everywhere. Last year, when in the month of April, May, the second wave cropped in after the festival period only. So, people are just waiting. Let's hope for the good. We have already reminded Railway Board even today also.
Right, but this is actually the issue is that this is follow-up. Please allow me. Thank you so much. Ma'am, the thing is that as you just answered to some of these questions, that you said that there is a haulage price increase in the case of Tejas, which has resulted into, despite higher volume, we incurring losses in that business. Again, the single point impact is the change in policy by the railway. Similarly, in catering also, we are not able to cope it up with the relevant traffic-based revenue because the RT is being imposed by the railway. So I am not saying that they are trying to do something which is not in best interest of the shareholder. But of course, the decision making for us actually lies well beyond the conventional thought process of the board sitting at the IRCTC. Or they have their own limitations to that. So that is the big question out here, that we are doing fabulously well as an organization. But how we will be able to deal with such risk, because we are not able to address the issue which we actually have just because it is the call's been shot at some other place.
Let's go to the root cause of it. Why Ministry had to withdraw the catering? Ministry had to take a tough call because there was a COVID and there were many contact points and Railway never wanted to be party in spread of COVID. This was a tough decision. No organization, if we are losing, then Railway is equally losing, because the distribution of the revenue is also there. 45% of our share goes to Ministry of Railways in this. So if they are also losers, they have foregone their 700 crores in that. If you recall our previous discussions that we used to do in the year 1920, that in the year 2021, our revenue from the catering should have been around 1,500 crores, out of which 45% around 700 crores would have gone to railways. So railway also has foregone their revenue in the interest of a nation to save our lives. The tough decisions at times are taken to take care of to get the better deals. And life saving, nothing can be better than saving a life.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Shyam Sundar Shriram from Sundaram Mutual Funds. Please go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my question. Ma'am, my first question is, what is the basis for this revenue sharing with Indian Railways? Is there any underlying economic logic to share? That is the first part of the question. Secondly, now IRCTC also works with many OTA agents as well, where the agent charges an additional convenience fee, and there is a revenue share with IRCTC as well. Is this also decided by Indian Railways, or is this decided by the IRCTC board per se? So tomorrow, if Indian Railways decides to change that also, is that something that is possible if Railways decides to change your terms of agreement with your OTA agents per se? So those are the two questions.
Well, I would like to answer your second question first as compared to the first. Like, the Ministry of Railways has already decided that the agent can charge 10 and 20 rupees per ticket. That is already decided. And in that, if the OTA is there, if he cannot charge, his fee cannot be more than that. But however, the IRCTC takes an additional money from him in the form of rupees 12. That is the decision of a OTA. The agreement to appoint OTA is done between IRCTC and OTA. The ministry does not have any access to that. However,
the ministry decides the agent charges, how much they have.
एक पहले charge किया है, उसने जो पहले किया हुआ decide, that is continuing for all B2B and all B2C. Any kind of a agent can charge only this much. 20-40 rupees है, 20-40 they can charge. So वो उन्होंने किया है, that is being done by them. And over and above what OTA policy has, what is B2B, what is B2C, how the rail RTAs will be there and how the GSA will be appointed, is all internal decision of IRCTC management.
Okay, understood.
And you said what has been the logic behind that? Well, I have already answered that. My answer remains the same. That ministry has decided that, ministry has withdrawn, IRCTC is not in position to comment.
Okay. No, ma'am, I was just trying to understand, is there any economic logic in terms of, because we use by Indian Railways back-end reservation, so is there any sort of economic or a logic for IRCTC?
Understanding that ministry has saved lot of money by doing the online reservation. If the work is being not looked after by them, IRCTC is also incurring lot of expenditure in maintaining the infrastructure. And we need to upgrade that, and this is that we have already been telling to our investors all the time. And it is a continuous process. We have already awarded many contracts for upgrading our infrastructure.
Understood, ma'am. Can I ask one more question? You said the IRCTC has the wherewithal or the freedom to raise the convenience fee. Now, what factors that you will consider that you go into whether you have to raise the convenience fee, as in, is it a simple like an services inflation per se, or what will you consider?
Yes, sir. Please complete your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That is my question.
See, there are many factors. When we will increase our license fee, first our expenditure becomes so much that we are not able to handle our expenditure under service. The revenue that we receive from the convenience fee is lesser than that. As of now, we are able to handle, so we don't want to put any burden on the customer. At the same time, we have to look the overall interest of the country, that is in the form of promoting the Atmanirbhar Bharat concept and creating our own gateway, etc. So as long as we are able to handle it well and add to good amount of revenue to our company, getting good profits, I don't think so there is any need for the management to increase the convenience fee. If there is some shortage, then management will take a call.
Understood. Thank you very much. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Urmil Shah from Haitong Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am, and thanks for the opportunity. I'll maybe try and channelize the discussion on the positives. So if we look at the internet ticketing segment, ma'am, in this quarter, it appears that not only the volume-based benefit has enabled us to do all-time high revenue, but even the non-service charge revenue has touched all-time high as regards the quarterly run rate. If you could throw light on the same,
Yes.
And also how should we look at it over the next couple of years?
Well, I can tell you that the convenience fee of this quarter 2 has been around 299 crores. Oh, yeah. Quarter 2 is this. Just wait a minute.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. 289, no? Here, no? Okay. In the first half year, our total fee has been 289 crores. That is in the first half, out of it 104 in the first quarter and 185 in this quarter. Non-convenience fee, earlier we had 46, now we have 80. Out of which I can give you the sharing. All the time investors have been asking why the advertisement revenue from our side has been less. Let me tell you with the great pride that this time our 20 crores almost we have received through advertisement. So where we have been able to tap a good government ads for our portal. Then commission also has seen some very high because the overall ticketing has been high, so the commission has been high in the B2C segment. And AMC also, our AMC fees has also increased. So all segments except for the SBI, where our offer was there that we will not charge revenue to some, has shown some improvement. So this, our focus is convenience fee. Yes, we have to tap that. But at the same time, we need to increase our non-convenience fee resources. So this is the positive side, and there is non-convenience fee has shown increase of 74%, whereas the convenience fee has also shown the increase of 78% over the quarter 1.
Sure. Ma'am, while on a quarterly basis we might have variation, but if I just annualize the 80 crores, that comes to around 320 crores on a full year basis as the non-service charge revenue. Would you say that is achievable in FY23 as a whole? We might have quarterly variation in this.
लगता है हो जाएगा.
Sure, that was helpful. Ma'am, my second question was on the e-catering side. If you could let us know what is the kind of volume being done, as well as as regards getting the aggregators, not the top 2 ones, but the smaller ones, to get the food options on board.
Okay, I have a good news to share that pre-COVID, I think in the month of April and October 21, if I take the data, so our average meal booking has been, average meals per day booking has been around 24,210 as compared to the average of 21,000 previously. So the total value of orders was to the tune of 27.8 crores. And the aggregator which are live, around 10 in number, Rail Yatri, Rail Restro, Rail Resti, Zoop, Garg Rajdhani, OLF, Spicy Wagon, Komasam, Yatri Bhojan, etc. are there. Then we have around 1,000 odd active service provider vendors who are associated with us, and we are also in process of mobilizing our own food plaza and FFU people to be mandatory food providers for our trains, so that the facility is available in more and more trains. Last time when we were doing this earning Concall, we had mentioned that we are going to put in our B2C agents in the e-catering. At that time only 2 were active, now 20 of such are active. And our number of patients where the e-catering is live has also increased to 252. So our revenue from the e-catering is increasing. Average meal order has also increased, but lot more to be done, which we would be doing. We are going for a massive kind of a promotion. We are also in the process of tying up with the new aggregator and new vendors also. So you will see further improvements as the year passes.
Ma'am, just a follow-up on that. As regards the 20 B2C agents, how many of them would be on the supply side? Or on the ordering side, we have never had any problem. But as regards providing the food options, how many of these B2C agents would be on the supply side?
These B2 agents are not in the supply side, but we are going to have one B2C agent soon, whom I will not name,
sure,
because our approval is yet in the process in a day, maybe in the next earning Concall or investors meet. By the time the approval will be there, I would be sharing his or her name. There are operators in the B2C segment who have a ticketing agent, but they would be in the supply also. Rail Yatri is one. Rail Yatri is my catering agent also and the ticketing agent also. Right. And this Komasam is my supply agent, but he is very less of a e-ticketing also he does. Similarly, we are going to have 2-3 more who have become our ticketing agent also, and will also be in the supply chain for the e-catering. So they are in process of tying up with the other hotel chains who can become. Ultimately, they book orders for those hotels and the supply chain for which we have already linked up and done one-to-one contracts. So they are gainer of our linking with them. Ultimately, IRCTC is gainer. Whether they earn or we earn, the earning to the IRCTC remains the same.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Revant Shah from SBI Life Insurance. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Madam, you mentioned that we are in constant discussion with Ministry of Railways for policy-related matters. So whether on this convenience fee circular which was issued by them, were we in discussion with them to understand the impact on our company, or were we left blindsided by them?
Well, I am not in position. I will reiterate my answer. Sir, I am not in position to answer this question. I have already answered. And the good part of it is that the charges have been reversed, withdrawn. So let's accept the fact.
Okay. Secondly, could you tell us on the developments of merger with RailTel and CRIS?
Such things are decided by our body, DPAM. We have not received any official communication in this regard.
Okay. And couple of more things. Could you provide any update on the privatization of trains for which we have bidded we have won couple of tenders, and any update or progress on that? And also on our payment gateway application which was pending with RBI, could you give any update on that?
Our payment gateway application, for that we have recommended changes in our MOA that has gone to ministry. We have discussed today also, and it has gone to the top authority. Once the ministry approves, then we would be sending to the rest of the approving bodies so that it becomes part of our memorandum of association as in the main object clause. After that, we would be applying to RBI for getting the license for the same, so that the payment aggregator services can be used. However, as far as the payment gateway is concerned, we can always use it. Okay. And first thing, and I forgot your first question. Can you please repeat, sir?
Yeah. We have won couple of tenders for this privatization of trains.
Private.
Update on that. Yeah.
We have not received any communication so far. Perhaps we will get it by tomorrow or day after. Let's hear from them what ministry takes the decision.
Okay. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is from the line of Bharat Parekh from CLSA. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, sir.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. This is Bharat Parekh. I head the infrastructure research for Hong Kong headquartered investment bank called CLSA in India. I must congratulate you for the initiatives the management has taken to reach out to the market and improve the communication. So I think it's a great thing, and I must appreciate that. Also, I just wanted to ask you, ma'am, from an investor relations perspective, how do we reach out to the company? Because we have been writing multiple emails at investors and also other email IDs which is available on your website. But unfortunately, we are not able to reach, and also nobody picks up the landline. So if you can guide us, how do we reach out to you to understand your company a bit better?
We have a defined investment relationship officer, Mr. Anil Sharma. So far, he has been using his personal email ID. I have noted your points. Very soon, we will be communicating and putting it on our website. That zero web kind of ID, which is universally accepted, which can be there permanently on the website, will be created, and the phone number of the person will also be mentioned in the site. So your points have been noted, sir. A good suggestion. Thank you very much for that.
So right now we are emailing at asharma2490@irctc.com. Is that the one, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is the same. Anil Sharma is the person.
Okay.
Can you please give me your email ID, sir? You please share after this call. Maybe you can. My number is that you can give me a message. I'll find out where these mails are going. हो सकता है junk में जा रही हो, कुछ हो रहा हो. Let me see my system.
हाँ मैम, so how do I reach you? That will be my pleasure, ma'am.
Please आप share कर लीजिएगा अगर कुछ भी ऐसा है तो. We are here to sort out the issues. We don't want any investor to say this that his or her query has not been answered.
That is so nice of you, ma'am. Really appreciate the thought process you have. Truly commendable, I must say. And would be my pleasure to reach out to you and be in touch with you and understand the company. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mayank Babla from Dalal & Broacha. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for taking my question. I wanted to delve further in the non-convenience part of the internet ticketing. You said 20 crores was from the advertisements. Could you give the details of the balance revenue in that?
Yeah, I'll read out for you, sir. In the first half year, I'll take the half year figure.
Yeah.
Convenience fee has been 289 crores.
Yeah.
And the service charges other than the I-ticket has been 23 crores. Advertisement income, that is one. The advertisement income is actually divided into two parts. For our convenience, we have divided into the two parts because we are maintaining it like that. In one part, we have received 5.84 crores, and in the second part, we have received around 15.37 crores. Then annual maintenance charges, we have received around 58.34 crores.
Okay.
Then e-wallet, that is the e-wallet closed wallet that we run, 2.79 crores in that. And commission in the form of a B2C segment, that is 6.39 crores. So उसके बाद छुटपुट है, the agent replacement charges, when we change the agent, we also charge something. Then from 139 license fee, we take it, that is also 2.36 crores. And the agent login authentication and inquiry charges also we have realized. We have monetized through inquiries. There also we have earned around 1.110 crores. So more and more avenues of the revenue we are trying to monetize our website, and that is why our revenue in the non-convenience fee has been 74% more than the quarter one, and has been so far highest in any quarter.
Thank you, ma'am. And second, related to the convenience fee, was you said 40% was from the general class. Ma'am, can you give the split between AC and non-AC for the quarter in terms of percentage?
जी बिल्कुल देती हूँ आपको. I will give you for the second quarter, sir.
Yeah, please.
Second quarter average is first AC is 0.3, that is less than 1%. You know that executive first AC put together will be around 1%, right? Second AC is around 3.5%.
Okay.
Third AC is 14.9%.
Okay.
And AC chair car is again 3.5%. Sleeper class is 37.3%. Second AC is 40%.
Okay. Sure.
And our total inventory, and there is another class, अनुभूति class होती है, 30 बोलते हैं उसको, उसका बहुत कम है, 0.01% के आसपास. And the total inventory booking is around, average is 80.23% in the second quarter. That is July, August and September. And as of now, we have 3,000 trains for which we are providing these services.
Okay, sure, ma'am. And this last question was regarding the rail neer. I believe this quarter we had one plant also up and functioning. So what is the latest capacity per day in rail neer?
As of now, we have 15 plants operative. Before COVID, when we were there, some issues are there in the Bilaspur plant, which we are sorting out. And our capacity is around 15 lakh bottles in a day, still there. But because the Rajdhani Shatabdi Duronto train not running, so we are running around 55 to 60% of the capacity. Maybe the festival period, during this festival period, we have certain variation. Its demand might have gone up. I'm sorry, I'm not carrying that figure in front of me as of now. But the capacity is 15 lakhs. I'll certainly inform you and put it on the website if required.
Okay, sure, ma'am, sure. That's all from my side. Thank you and all the best for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, we'll be taking the last question. That is on the line of Madhu De from Alta Vista Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. It's just a housekeeping question. My question is, what was the increase in the number of trains running in Q2 compared to Q1, and how does that compare to your last pre-COVID quarter?
Well, when we initially started, after COVID with the 25 pair of trains, gradually start going up and up. And as of in the month of October, now I'm talking, because October is also over, today is 1st November. We have 3,000 trains which are running and for which we are providing the reservation. It starts coming up like this. In the month of June, it was around 2,500 trains. In July, it was 2,745 trains. Then again, August, the number of trains more or less same, 5-10 trains more added. In September, again, festival trains have come up. So you have 2,900 trains, 2,949 trains. Now in October, you have 3,019 trains. So I think we have reached almost, as far as the reserved accommodation is concerned, in the form of a special train, near to normalization with 10 or 15% short.
So when do you expect the full catering services to start, and what percentage of these trains you are offering catering at this point in time?
The train where you provide these services and where catering services and where you provide the reserved accommodation cannot be actually compared. Because for every train you have to provide the reservation, and you can provide the catering in the train where you have pantry cars and where the trains which are running during the day. If the trains are running during the night, there is no need of a catering. So I can tell you the trains which are running with the WCB, pantry cars we call them, the number is 346. And train where we have a train side vending is 288. So the total number of our trains is 634 against the 500 odd trains. I think last quarter when we had discussion, we were running around 550 such trains. Now it's 634. And most of the trains are having contract. So we have been able to place for all of them. Even the short-term contracts are also running. We have been given all trains on the contract. Except 4 trains which we run the departmentally because there's one litigation going on and we have to handle that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the last question. I now hand the conference over to Mrs. Rajni Hasija, CMD of IRCTC, for her closing comments.
It has always been pleasure interacting with investors and good to know how industry thinks about us. There have been certain ups and downs in the past, And life says, move on. So we believe in moving on. And we are here and presented today our quarter 2 results, where we have really registered good amount of our profit in all the 8 segments. My CFO has already read it. In Rail Neer, we have bridged up the losses, and in the catering, we have reduced the losses to the extent that the losses have reduced to only 19 lakhs. The good days are ahead, it looks. Normalization is happening, vaccination is happening. The impact of our COVID is gradually going away. We need to be a little cautious during the festival season. So I hereby close saying that in the tourism sector also, in the hardcore tourism, we are really doing fantastic. And in the hardcore tourism, really making profit, and we are trying to curtail the losses of the Tejas also to the extent possible. And we are examining it very aggressively and taking tough calls on each and every department in the Tejas. With this, I finish my words here and wishing you a very, very happy Diwali. Maybe the next year after Diwali is very, very happy and healthy for every investor, everyone in this country. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf